Good afternoon. Today is December 12th, 2019. Big day in politics across the pond. And with some other breaking news, Andrew Scheer, the leader of the Conservative Party of Canada, is stepping down. It was always going to be a matter of when, not if, but the scandal is breaking in Canada right now that he may have misappropriated some funds for a private school for his kid, and this was a good time to get out of Dodge. Andrew Scheer, oddly enough, is the only leader of the three major parties in Canada who didn't lose seats in the House of Parliament. Of course, Trudeau no longer has a majority. He's the minority leader or minority government, but of course he's still the prime minister. And Jagmeet Singh, leader of the NDP, members lost. But yeah, Scheer's out. Likely replacement would be Dougie Ford, the brother of Rob Ford, who was the greatest mayor of Toronto's history. He's also the premier of Ontario and was persona non grata during the election because the Conservatives decided we don't know who Doug Ford is during the election, even though, biggest province, leading it, you'd think that would change. Maybe that's another reason why Scheer's gone. On the other side of I guess around the globe, I don't know if it's technically on the other side, but if you go around the globe about as far as you can, Israel is having its third election in 12 months. Election is going to be on March 2nd, 2020. I did a video earlier in the year about how screwed up proportional representation is, and you can watch that on one of my other videos. Basically, proportional representation, for those of you who don't know, you pick a party, not a person. It's a threshold to get seats. There's 120 seats in the Knesset. Neither of the major parties even have a quarter of the seats. And Benjamin Netanyahu is going to be the prime minister, or the premier, or whatever they call him, until March 2nd. Couldn't get a confidence vote in. They had to pass some sort of legislation yesterday, and it didn't hit midnight, so it's triggering an election. And real indictment on proportional representation. It does keep him in power until March, and it does keep him out of jail, as he was likely to be indicted for some crimes, because hey, every world leader has some problems, apparently. But now the big event of the day, it's the UK election 2019, Brexit, and we mean it this time. Or we don't. So there are 650 constituencies in the UK for the four countries that make up the UK, Scotland, Wales, England, and North of Ireland. And of the 650 seats, again, it's Britain and the UK, so you have to confuse some math here. Sinn Fein in Northern Ireland. Northern Ireland by itself has five major parties. They kind of interact with the ones on the Big Island, but they kind of don't. Sinn Fein, who represents the nationalists, who want no say at all in UK. If you get elected in Sinn Fein, you don't actually serve, so it kind of screws up the total number you need for majority. And Northern Ireland doesn't really poll very well because it's such a short area. People don't want to spend a lot of money of it. So we all just kind of, based on previous how they voted in the past, it's kind of how they'll vote in the future. Sinn Fein will have 6 seats elected, but won't serve in any of them. Sinn Fein has 6. DUP, which was kind of going with Conservatives until there's no backstop with Brexit, they'll probably maintain 8. The SDLP, which is they want to reunite with Ireland, but they're a little bit more liberal, they'll probably get a couple seats. Alliance, which is a center party, will probably get a couple, and the UUP will probably get none for this election. So that's 18 for Northern Ireland, or as I like to call it, North of Ireland, because I'm a nationalist and I support Ireland's reunification and have no qualms and believe it as such. So the North of Ireland, those are those 18 seats. For Scotland, you have 59 seats, and besides the three major parties, Conservative, which of course represents the Conservative wing, the Labour, which is the lefties, and the Liberal Democrats, which is sort of in the middle. You have the SNP, which is the Nationalist Party. There are 59 seats up in Scotland to serve in Westminster. I think the SNP will get about 35 of the 59. Conservatives, I think, will get a majority of the rest, 14. Labor. Corbyn is just a bad leader. I think he goes down to 9 for the Labor, and the Liberal Democrats get 1. Going south and east to Wales, I think the Conservatives will not do as well as they should. I've got it as an even split between Labor and Conservatives. I got them each having 15 seats each. There are 40 seats up for grab. I have the Liberal Democrats getting 5, and Plaid Cymru, which is the pseudo-separatist party of Wales, unless you are a big fan of Marvel and the MCU, which they have their own representative in that world, the United Nations, they get up 5 of the 40. So now the big dog, which is England, 533. And based on the fact that the speaker, when they get elected, they leave a party, which lowers the majority number you need to serve, and the 6 from Sinn Fein. I believe you need a total of 322 seats to get a functioning majority of all the seats from those 4 countries. Conservatives have been polling well. They've been about 10 points up nationwide in the UK. And I have them winning a supermajority of seats here in England. I have them projected to win 319 seats. If you add that with the 15 in Wales and the 14 in Scotland, they would hit the magic number, 348. More importantly, that gives them a 26-seat cushion to get Brexit done. If some of these Conservatives have to get sacked to get Brexit done, they have 26 seats, assuming none of the other parties go on their side. With that said, Jeremy Corbyn will get about 192 in the UK, in England, I mean. Total would be 216. The Liberal Democrats will get 25. And I think the Greens will pick up a couple seats. UKIP and the Brexit Party, which used to you would think would be one on their own. UKIP is more the nationalist, Leave England party. They kind of dissipated. Brexit decided not to run any candidates, in which Conservatives still have seats. They will get, I don't believe, will get a seat. So there you have it. 650 needed. Of all the seats going to be voted, 322 for the majority, based on the Sinn Fein and the Speaker. Conservatives win by 26. How long Jeremy Corbyn stays as the Labour leader is up for grabs, and how quickly they get out of Brexit. January 31st is the drop-dead date. We'll see if they can hold 322 of the 348. That's my prediction. Now, if you try to find results right now, polling stops at 10 p.m. in England, which is 5 p.m. here in the East. But unlike the United States, you wouldn't think there was an election. There's no exit polls come out before the polls close. They will be counting votes until very early in the morning. And what is funny is if you watch one of the leaders when they're having their votes, they actually have it's kind of neat. They get every person running in a constituency, they have them up there. But what normally happens is, and I've already seen this today, they have a picture when the polls open, and one of them had a big giant Elmo because somebody's running with a big giant Elmo mask. I know the last election, 2017, there was a Darth Vader / Avengers thing. So, hey, if you got some cool pictures of some of the crazy people running, I'll try to take a couple pictures of them. I'm going to watch it tonight. So at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific, 10 in the UK, the results will start rolling in. They'll probably know if the Conservatives will win a majority by around, I'll say around 1 p.m. or 1 a.m. Eastern time, around 6 a.m. in the UK. They'll know whether they're going to have a functioning democracy and if Brexit's going to happen. If it's at 322 or less, they will not have Brexit. I don't think there's enough votes. I think they really need to get about 330 to 340. And again, they're not proportional representation. If we learned anything from Canada, with the Conservatives getting the most votes, but of course not the most seats in Parliament, and from, of course, the 2016 election here in the United States, it's not about getting the most points. Not about getting the most votes. It's about getting the most points. And so in some of those areas, Conservatives might be averaging 43% of the vote, but that's an average. There may be some that are at 70, and there may be some that are at 10. We'll see how that balances out. Like and subscribe, hate and comment, and we got some elections to watch.